Hello again, my darlings. I just made a video and the whole computer blocked at 55 minutes, and 1 hour later I was waiting for it to restart and it didn't, so after about 15 minutes I closed it and just reopened it all. Luckily I've still got the pages have come back, but I still have to open Stellarium and oh la 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 la. So I'll try and make it shorter this time, if that's possible. So I'm showing you pictures today, and I want you to really feel the Pac-Man, and how this Crocodile Dundee DD four-wheel drive is opening and shutting. And it's very strange because my logo for when I did Vicky Vibes was this, standing up straight like the lotus flower with the V heart, which was also like lips or a breast, or and that I wonder if my old logo was taken by a very famous shoes mark when I lost. I think I actually had protected my logo, but I never looked into it. But interestingly, it became Pisces' very famous shoe mark in France. I remember I designed that logo myself I used to work for a company as account manager for a graphic design company, and the team helped me make the logo when I moved on. Anyway, so it's all about this V, this 30 or 60 or 90 degrees, the sun and the moon, and about the Gregorian calendar that we're going to be looking at. So here we go. As you know, we're completely off because we've got the new year in January, when the new year begins in March. So September is really the 7th month, October's the 8th, November's the 9th, December is the 10th, so January is the 11th, February is the 12th, and March is the 1st. So they've got us starting the new year in the 10th house of December, which is number 10, which is the X, which is the skull and bone cross. And we are coming back here, so we're going to have the scissor jump. So here are some silly pictures, but this is trying to show the mutable ages in this wiggly line here. So each mutable age, we had a tilt. We had Venus positive on the top and then Venus positive, negative on the bottom. So we had the first gap, the first opening, and that's the 23.5 tilt, 23.5 tilt, 23.5 tilt, 23.5 tilt. Which add all that together makes 94. 9 and 4 is 13, and now they're giving us this fake 13th sign for the closing to trap us. They know that the wheel is coming back again, so they've put this 13th sign instead of us falling back onto the equinox, the head, Aleph Tav. So you see there's a constant movement. We've got the sine wave, and we've got the sun going round, and we need a head start. So the head always begins in the first house, and we've got Aquarius falling onto the first house. So this is the opening of Fomalhaut, opposite Regulus. The sun and the moon will merge. A very good comment from my friend here. July, Julius Caesar, and August, Augustus are 2 false months added by the Roman emperors. So here we have July Cancer, August Leo, Moon and Sun. So the Sun and the Moon, these were the 2 added with the openings of the mutable gap. We had these 2 extra signs which they used as the cornerstone. Okay, so some more of these pictures. So if you imagine the Leonardo da Vinci man opening like the cross, the mutable cross, and then standing up straight like a soldier. So we've been lying down on the horizon. We've been You know, we've been told that the horizon is not the new year. So in fact, the horizon is going to become the solstice. We're going to stand up straight, and the cross, the open chromosome, and the soldier. So we've been lying down like soul dyers. The legs open and shut. So you can do that with your body, and that makes these gateways, these equinox gateways, these openings at the top. And when we've had the 5 ages of solar, 5 ages of lunar, we've had the 2 hands, we've had 2 hands on top, 2 hands on below. That's the 23.5 every time. And now we're going to have the whole opening of the flower, and we're going to have, instead of 1 sine wave above the line, 1 sine wave below, 1 above, 1 below, we're going to have a 5th wave in that 360-degree wheel. So this will be coming back to the 5-petaled flower, which they are using as the 5-pointed star. When it's an opening, it's a lotus flower. It enables us to stand up straight on the wheel. We can move, we can movie groovy around, and we're complete. That we are the rulers of the. We're not crucified. We can wheelie around. We are the masters of our wheel. We conduct our orchestra. These are just silly pictures I'm doing again. You've got the right left swastika. These are in fact the S's. That's an S, but they've got the angle going all the time. It's an S when it's moving around. It's the SS, SS. The hands. This is the opening, shutting of the gateway. This is the Martins, the 3 Martins, the thumb, Mars, and Jupiter. The index finger is tin, Martin. So these gates are opening and shutting with these moving around. And you remember that Aignan, where I live, is this 5-pointed star. It is the true Solstice line. It's been moved over to Morocco Island to take the 5-point, but this, my home, is the true flower. So we move along with the pictures. So this is just me playing around. It means nothing, but you see the Pac-Man. The Pac-Man is opening and shutting in different directions. The VVs are all going. This is the man standing with his legs together, and this is the man with his legs and arms out. These are the Scissor Sisters. This is the crocodile, the opening and shutting. So we're going to have the true head coming back of Aquarius, the fixed Aquarius, former hole, the North Star on the equinox, and therefore the Milky Way closes as well as the same time as the head, and that's what opens up the Taurus field. So this is how it's now going to be on the equinox. It's the horseshoe. This is the Jewish calendar. You see March is at the top. So this is all the confusion, and this is the last Pac-Man opening here, which is closing. And this is going to be between the 3-3 of March, the 3rd of March, crucifixion, 3-3, and the famous 322, which is Mars on Aldebaran, Mars Aries on Taurus, Venus. So Mars and Venus, the hand of Fatima, 2 palms together, 2 thumbs open and shut, and Venus is the palm of the hand, and the little finger's Mercury. The finger next to that is the Sun, and Jupiter merges on the top with Mercury and Saturn in the middle. And there will be no need of the Sun and the Moon. There's no more Sun and Moon in it. We're coming out of the Romulus and Remus Roman Republic. So we've got the 12 wheel, and on top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The heart gateway. It's like a moving, opening and shutting. When we come off the mutable, we come back to that Templar cross. So here's Pac-Man getting the coronavirus. They've just brought out a new vaccine where they explain it's a Pac-Man that goes out and finds the COVID. It's a never-ending journey. It will never end. Here is the wheel. Okay. So the hands, the 4 wheels, the 4 S's, as above, so below. These are just little pictures, they mean nothing, it's just me playing around, but it's just showing you opening and shutting. I showed you the tune, the heart, how it's opening and shutting last time. So here's the fixed cross, and here's more, the middle path, OCO, the harrow, taking over from the English solstice, which comes down through my village. They're going to have islands with Morocco underneath. So you've got the below and the above belt. There's the tilt between Morocco, between England, and between Paris. You've got the 2 mutable signs. Incredible. That's the labyrinth, Incy Wincy Spider in my village. These are those old, that was the picture I did in the 2 videos ago. And again, more little pictures. So here we've got this has got 4 currently. We've got the 4 ages, and this is going to make 5. 1 above, 1 below, 3 above, 4 below, 5 inside this 360 wheel. So as the frequency gets higher, it goes faster. We go back to 4, 4, 8. That creates another wave. You need wind and air. You need water to make waves. You need wind and water. So we're leaving Pisces, whites, and we're going into red air on the equinox, and that makes this wave. That's going to make this 5th wave. And so it's the sun's movement, the equinox's movement. You've got to start to see, because I can't explain so well, but I can feel it, I can see it, I can feel it within me, and that's why there's no danger for those of us who are already at this 5th wave. It's those who are going to hit the wave and become attached to the vaccine 5G, that it's not going to be fun, who get stuck in that 13th sign. 23.5, 23.5, 23.5, 23.5 is 94, 13. It's when we are able to move all around the wheel. So there's the S, Chiron, which was the first opening in Sagittarius. So I go back to up. Well, here, it's not what I wanted at all, but you see we've got the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back to the hands. We've been through the 4, and now we're coming to the 5th wave. This was a good little video I found. Hamza, the hand of Fatima, the hand of Mary, the hand of the goddess. It explains that it's the hand of all the religions. Here you see the 2 angles, the V for victory. Thumb closes, they close, and we open up the 5 gateway. They have used the colour purple and orange, which is not what we want. Jupiter, well, that could be the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. I mean, you can always see things from whatever angle you want. So I wrote, it's very clear to me, it's all about the hands on the tick-tock clock of time, the wheels within wheels, Kyle, and the angle, thumb Mars and palm Venus, fingers Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, and Jupiter, the Sun, and the Moon are out the picture as the hand closes, opens again, Pandora's box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, once I caught a fish alive, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then I let him go again. The 3, 3, Mercury, Jupiter are conjunct in Capricorn with Saturn home and Venus on Fomalhaut, the lamb, the thalamus. The Bethlehem, the mutable cross closes as Jupiter, Mercury conjunct and Mars in Taurus on the 7 sisters Pleiades. And the hand does too. I have between 3, 3 crucifixion and 3, 2, 2 Mars on Venus, on Aldebaran to get out of the cave, diaphragm. So the diaphragm is the sun and the moon. Below you've got Mars root, red, you've got orange, the sacrum, and then you've got the just below the diaphragm, the solar plexus, the sun and the moon, which is the diaphragm, that is the dome. And to WTFU, because Venus is negative, positive, 4 corners of each 18,000 cycle, half dia of 360 and the 5th. She is marked, balanced again with Saturn and Mars merged back in the eye of Taurus, Taurus field. It's happening North Node, Head of Snake on Taurus, Silver Gate, and South Node in Sagittarius, Golden Gate, Sirius, Keeper of the Four Corners, is over. We began with Sirius, the first opening, when Sagittarius, first mutable gap, opened. That was why he became Sirius, the Keeper of the Four Corners, but he's out the picture now because we're closing. It's no longer Gemini, we're closing on Taurus and Aries together. So it's Keeper of the Four Corners, it's over, and Alta, the Phoenix, rises again. 4x four-wheel drive, gates open. She, Venus, is rising back up from reverse to open. The BFG, Big 5 gate, 5G opens the floodgates of wisdom, the dome, the diaphragm. Those scared stay under the belt. Dome, diaphragm, still, whatever that means. Makes me laugh how they stroke your ego. It's astrology, alchemical astrology, all of it. They give you human design for the New Age cage, and they give you university bullshit, and they speak to you in riddles, parables, pair of balls, pair of dice. It's the 4x4 wheels within wheels paradise. It's all the snake, Milky Way, archetype story. It's simple as 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons and a thumb. And they move around the wheel. No one will tell you the truth because they need your human flesh to live off. They die when you WTFU. So they need a constant source of asleep ones to feed them, and they are your shepherds and jokers, tricks and treats, snakes and ladders through the maze. They are not allowed to deny you your personal labyrinth, so they break it all up and make magic. Just hidden knowing is all that is. You have to work hard to open the gate of your brain. It takes dedication, passion, and a compass, because no one gets through for free. No one. You've got to find the wisdom. It's hard work. Wardrobe is hard work, all alone, and keep a light, kind heart in the process, because the vampires will try to kill anyone that breaks out of the mind control, and it takes immense courage to think further than your comfort zone. And that was something I just fell on. It was just all so silly. It's all Harvard. They just don't make it simple. Join the whole story all together. Wonderful documentary. You see, the Gypsy Kings are the two sides of the above and the below. Coming back to the Kings, the Gypsies, you need the spin, you need the dance. This is the Irish above Morocco. So, Momo, Hamid, Ali, Amit, Ham, Hand, Buck in the Hand, the Devourer of the Dead, Morocco, CrocO, Crocodile, Dundee, St Andrew's Cross closes. DD is D-Day, 4x4 wheel drive. RR, Romulus and Remus, Rolls Royce. The lady on the front is the Liberty, the statue of La Marianne. They've put the pre-sexual fairy on the front, as do the teeth of the mutable cross, the Pac-Man, CrocO, Planet of the Apes, Moon Key, Moon Star, Kali, 69, programming. The hand of her, Fatima, is 96, upright. God is dog, ground, hog. The merging of the Twin Peaks is at number 10. The Solstice passage is March, where Aquarius and Capricorn will be. Of the two hands on top of the other again. Heaven is for those who are no longer led by the upside down hand, lower chakras, 69 Mars, Jupiter, Martians, Martins. You've got to get above the sun, moon, dome, to heaven, upright hand, Solstice. Number 10, Bill Gateway, home. Pay your bill to get through the gate. Tomb Raiders, Venus, Mercury, voice, and Spirit, Saturn, middle path, home. The hand of Hamza, HH, hunting horn, 88 becomes 8 again. The throat chakra is 16, 2 8s. You get that perfect 8. Continuous Taurus field moving again, and 16 is also 6 plus 1 is 7, which is the last leg, the last angle. You've got to get that last merging of the solstice and the equinox. They become one again. They become one again. So you've got phony, baloney, the knees, Capricorn rules the knees. Number 10, they put Downing Street because for them, they're doing the sun and moon. But this is the knees. Below knee is below the knee, and phony is French for false, full knee, false knee. So this gap is closing, and the sun and the moon is what, this is the Pac-Man that opens and shuts on each side. You've got to imagine this movement. We're not going to get crucified. I'm going to show you pictures in a sec. So becomes 8 again, Venus heart, and I, Taurus, Libra, takes 8 years to make the 5 petals. Fatima, the word Hamza derives its name from the 5 fingers on the hand in Hebrew. The number 5 is Hamish, and the 5th letter of the Hebrew alphabet is Hey, one of God's holy names, the stable, Jesus. Hamesh is representative of the 5 books of the Torah, Taurus field. In Judaism, it is also interpreted to be the hand of Miriam, Persephone and Marianne, Miriam, Marianne, Miranda, Picnic Hanging Rock, she's called Miranda. The symbolic of the owner's 5 senses is an effort to praise God. In Arabic, it is Kamesh. In the Sunni culture, the Hamza is associated with the 5 pillars of Islam. For the Shiites, it symbolizes the 5 people of the cloak. In the Islamic faith, it symbolizes as the hand of Fatima, the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad. So I think I've got some funky pictures here. So you don't want to remain in planet of the 8, monkey paw. This is the 5. We come back to the 5. We've been through the 4 wave, and we've now got a 5th wave. The Bee Gees, there were 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Bee Gees, the monkey's paw, the BFG, big 5G, 5 Bee Gees in their 5-pointed star, and we've even got the off-on button. The bullseye, number 10, Downing Street, and Maradona, blue and white of the mutable cross, and the hand of God. So we're coming back. The 2 hands merge back up as one again. We don't have 69. That's the St. Andrew's cross, Argentina, don't cry for me. And we've got the 10 and the 10, the 5, 5 on each side of the wheel, closing again. It's the 5-petaled flower. It takes Venus 8 years with those retrograde movements to make up the flower. And these are the journeys of Venus. I've had the 4, Venus, positive, negative. It's the hand, that is the merging of Mars, Venus, and Saturn. So there was a little girl who had a little curl. When she was good, she was very, very good. And when she was horrid, she was horrid. She was Kali on the bottom, and on the top, she became, again, merged with Mars and Saturn. And this is the process of going through these waves, and I'm sure that those waves keep going. Some of us came back, here we go, showing us Bill Gates, the 10, and there's Kali, that's Cancer, 69, and we're going back up again. 10, this is Mars, when Mars is on Aldebaran, that's Mars and Venus. Venus will be on Fomalhaut when that happens. And Momo, the Irishman that froze 39 people, showing us his fist, Masonic sign, and the so in this real alley T. Okay, I'm going in the other direction from the last video I did. I showed the pictures first, but we're going to get to the pictures after. Cupid and Valentine, Venus and Mars are the 2 thumbs, well, they're the palm and the thumbs of the hand. And Peter can fly away and so can Paul. It is the eternal game of balance. If your heart can be broken, as it will be, without mind over matter, it will crack and break like the waves and the tides always do. Over and rover and revolver times again and again, and then one cold day it will freeze frozen. and never ever mend again, because you can only pass through the eye of the needle if your heart can melt, as is as light as the feather from the very flesh of the dart that pierced your heart bare. It's a game, and the players are the Waters and Watts and Walters of the Walt Disney Playa Beach, bitch. We play on, and she, Venus, sells seashells on the seashore. In Pisces white water she sells sea moon stars, monsters in Virgo black earth sand. And in Scorpio, ice Mars is in detriment and in fall in Cancer, and Libra on hell's L. It's a fine line of balance to be free like the air, Libra, deep as the well of Cancer, because both extremes exist. Black and white, sand and sea, and red and blue, fire and ice, Eros and Psyche, morning and night star, Venus and Mars, and Venus red and blue, black and white. It's the SS curls. And when she's good, she's very, very good, and when she's bad, she's horrid. It's the two-way tilt of the coins. Coin, 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 corner, corner. The two L's in French. Coin, coin. It's the sound of the duck. And in French, people do that with their hands, opening and shutting. Yeah. LL77VV11, remember, you put your 4 body parts back together and you find your head. It's always so we may find our inner harmony through pain and strife. We walk the cutting edge of life and death. We are on the middle earth, and the middle way is the only way out of the dome. Om, D4, home is H8, home, Om, again. I lost my cat, Punky, for 3 days, from last Sunday night. And in fact, my friend Pat had delivered me a freezer, and we'd seen Punky on the roof as we were taking it out of his van. And I didn't ask for this freezer, it was a gift, but funny, frozen, Narnia, and it's very cold. And we had the biggest ever storm for the 3 days. So the day after that he didn't come back, because Punky and Floyd always sleep with Mummy, he was a bit distraught. He'd just come back for this. So I phoned Pat, said, he's got to be in your van, Pat. And Pat rang me back and said he wasn't, but in fact he was hiding. So for 3 days, in absolutely terrible, trees falling, winds blowing, rain, we had floods everywhere here. I do a big post on Facebook all about Postman Pat and his black and white cat. And I do the astrological explanation of Mercury represents pets. Mercury was in detriment in Sagittarius. So I worked the whole thing out, not suspecting that he was actually in Pat's van still. And I woke up the next morning to Pat with Punky in his arms. So I kind of feel like myself, my 2 dogs, my 2 cats are kind of making this 5-pointed star. So I was very, very upset on a symbolic level, but for my love of Punky, people who follow me on Facebook know what I went through. So yeah, trying to keep warm. It's icy cold, and the rain and the storms. You know, I live a very raw Saturn contraction life. So yeah, okay. Funnily, on the same day that I found my cats, we had a cat found in Mo's cow. Momo, the Irishman, Mohammed Ali, Ham, Buckingham. So Mo's cow, Moscow, is the 13th chakra. So, you know, this is telling us it's our time to come through. Black and white is the axis of Virgo and Pisces. And the cat. So the Cheshire cat has gone from Gemini, ginger, to the black and whites. There's Punky on Punky pet alerts. Little Punky, so sweet. Everybody helped. I put a load of random pictures together, and you're just going to see how everything joins up. So we've got opening, a shutting, an opening, and we've got this little passage with this changeover, and we're going through, and the whole wheel is set off, and they're using Pac-Man in the COVID vaccine. I mean, this is AMMIT, the crocodile. So there he is. You've even got the T's in there for the T-Rex Scotty. So we're going through this passage of Aleph Tav, Aries Aleph, Tav, Taurus, V, Venus, the last V for victory, V is 22. Okay, so here we've got the 3 legs, and the last one is the one who gets through that tombstone, opening and shutting. Through the passage, he finds the last leg. And we set off the Taurus field again. There's the 369 triangle. She does the wheelie right-left electromagnetic. You've got to have the 4 wheels moving to push open back into your consciousness, your Saturn, Venus, Mars coming together, and you get a head on top of your forearm. She's got her legs. She's got her legs closed. So we've got the 2 angles, the VV. This is the 2 Pac-Men, opening and shutting of the mouths. Here it is. This is the 8 phases of the moon, and we have the 8 phases of we have the anal emma, which is the journey of the 8 of the sun, and it crosses on the equinox. And I'm going to be showing you with that 23 tilt, it makes the trap, it makes the V. So this is, they want to keep us stuck in the moon, the sun and the moon. This is the sigil of Saturn and Jupiter. There's the expanded one. Jupiter opens and it shuts. These are the 2 V's again, and they want to make this into Lucifer the Baphomet, but it's actually the opening and the shutting. And you've got to get through, because if you don't get through, you're under Lucifer the Baphomet, which is Libra. So another thing I'm thinking, we've got water white, fire Asia, yellow, Europe white, Africa black, earth, and America red air. So wouldn't golden be the next human color to make the 5th wave? Wouldn't the Arabic color be the 5th hue, human? The trick, this is really meant to be Pisces and red air that merge, but they want to use or Scorpio and Libra with the Milky Way, and we've got Pisces changing place with Aquarius. So the red and white barber pole, and this is the opening and the shutting. She's got her legs shut now, but she's coming back to the high cardinal, fixed and mutable. But first you've got to get that balance between the feather and the heart. Is your heart heavier than the feather? So this is coming back to the Gregorian calendar. This is all Lars's work. Alchemical Astrology, will be going to all his pictures. The black month circle are for the public, slaves, and the red one for the elites. By looking at the name September, one will find out that it means 7, sept in French. So September is the 7th month and not the 9th, and so forth. So as one can notice that what we in the public calls New Year at the solstice, the elites celebrate in March. The systems are differentiated with 2 months, and most of the events happening on Earth right now relate to the red calendar. So the 2 months is 30 plus 30, 60 degrees. That 60 can also make a 90, and there's a 30, a 60, and a 90 between each quarter. So if we look at the 10th house, we've got their fake 1-1, but when we look at their we've got the 1. This is the March. This is the head. This is the true 1. I don't want to get confused with the numbers, but again, this is about the solstice. So we've got the cardinal, the hat. We get the hat. If you want to get a head, get a hat. So the fez cap, the cardinal, the mutable, and the fixed without the hat, all merging, making the Bethlehem star. The 369 is the opening of the gateway, and this then becomes the 12. 3, 6, 9, and the heart goes from 12 to 8. This is the 12, 8, the opening and the shutting. The sun and the moon, we have no more needs. We go to the higher hertz. The S is the swastika, right, left, spin. And they're showing the angles between. This is the Holy Grail. The sun and the moon is over. It's harvest time. The big wheel always has that angle. It's the opening and shutting. You need, this is Chiron, Sagittarius, the first opening, and the last key is in Pisces. This is the 21, the 777, the 3 angles. You need the 4th, or you get closed in the squared circle. Aleph Tav, that cross, and we've got air and earth that come back together. And the pendulum, we've had each pendulum on each equinox. We've had the 5, the 10, 5 and the 10, the 2 hands, 5, 5, 5, 5, and now it comes back to one big 5 wave. So this is the same angle. All reality is within us. We project, and you've got the 5 there, putting England in the tier, 5th tier, musketeer, tear, tars, the corns of the corona, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, and that makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here as well. So this is the chakra system, which is merging with the, so this, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking if 7 is the ultimate passage. Well, 7, the throat chakra is 16, so it will go from 16, 8, 8 back to 7 to get through. So that's the last leg. 7 is the L, or the V, it's the angle. So we're going to spin through 16, 6 and 1 is 7, 16 is 8 and 8, 8 and 8 become 1, 8, and 7, the last key is opened. So the 4 angles, the North Star, Fomalhaut, the South Star, Regulus, and Antares, and Aldebaran, Scorpio, and Taurus. The Philosopher's Stone squared in the circle. 10 o'clock is the solstice that they've made the new year, when the new year is March. The V for victory, this is the Milky Way. I show you every time. So when Mars is on Aldebaran, it's closing the tip of the Milky Way with Deneb, Silver Gate, Golden Gates. Mars will be on Aldebaran, Mars, Aries on Taurus, for the 322, which is the postcode of my village, with a 90, and we're going back to 9 on the top. The 2 hands of Fatima are just Rahu and Ketu, closing of the Milky Way. So Venus and Mars open and shut the Milky Way with Taurus. Is this an Osiris with Taurus and Scorpio? Scorpio Mars, Taurus Venus, it's the same thing. It's no longer the sun and the moon, it's Venus and Mars. And there's Leonardo da Vinci. He can either be crucified in the 5-pointed star, or he's that eternal petal. And so we come on to the correct solstice, which is over where I live. And the Ark of the Covenant. So we've got that, I can't pronounce that bone in our heads, the Batman, and we merge our right and left, and we open the gateway, it opens up, and we get the fountain of the lotus flower, Aleph Tav. The first was with Libra, Venus in Libra, and now they're closing, so that was on the first equinox, and now they're closing on the equinox, Alpha and Tav. This is Tav V, 22, catch 22 together. They close, the hands close together. 1939, 39 frozen. This is the wheel, the 3, the 9 is the 3 or the 6. So 360, and this is how the cross is going to come perfectly back. And we've got all the different Pac-Men in each mutable age. You've got a Pac-Man. Mark that opens and shuts her wings. She makes the angle when they shut, the V. DNA goes round like the sun and up and down on the equinox. All seeing eye, the Y of the tongue of Jacob's ladder. Snake tongue, the V, the blue, and the red and the blue of Venus, positive and negative. That's La Belle Histoire, very famous film that shows us everything. The Taurus, so they're showing us the closing is with Aleph Tav. And this is again the snake's tongue, the 3 different solstices that we've had, the 30, 60, that can also be 90 degrees when it's the right way up. And the 13 is the last, 94. The 23.5 makes 94, makes 13. This is for the jolly gang that get closed in the underwheel. Rahu Ketu. This is the speaker, the siren, which is also the angle again. It's that. And this is the golden triangle in Paris, where I was when I had my Kundalini awakening. I was working in all my nightclubs around here, doing Vicky Vibes. My logo was that Packerman with a heart in it, which was the V. It was the V of my name, Vicky Vibes, V for victory. Little did I know that my Nathaniel Cotton, who began all this Theosophical, Victorian, and then the East Indian Company, he wrote his book Visions in Verse, VV, and I must buy that book. That's where I lived, Rouge-en-Mermoz. So I wasn't quite in the triangle, but I was next to the Israeli embassy. I loved it. I had such a great time. I knew everybody on the road. I used to totter down my stairs in my high heels, and I'd go and clap hands with everyone on the street. I could go anywhere I wanted. It was the best time. Real village life. Paris was fantastic, but it's not like that anymore. 7, that's that last door, the throat chakra to get past. Makes 7 is 1, 6. So we go from the 8, 8 to the 7 back through. Here's Momo, who froze 39 Asian people in the red and white again. So Momo, Mohammed. This is the Morocco and Ireland again, making that other solstice line. So for the underworld. It doesn't mean, you can be gypsies or the kings, because the Scorpio fell to the dust and the Scorpio's rising again as the eagle to carry Scorpio Libra together. So, this is representing red air and going, but that's the green man, that's the 5-pointed. So this is not what we want. We want the flower. We don't want it, we want it in the hand. It's the fountain, it's the lotus flower. Again, this is Leviathan, but we've got that last V angle of leaving Pisces in the heart of the sea. There we've got the mutable cross, and they show us the spin. The 4 tilts that we've had, and now what they're merging again. The moon and the sun will merge, and that lunar and south node will then join again with Mars and Venus, Taurus and Scorpio. This is the logo. It's the umbrella opening and shutting. They show us the octopus, the sine waves going up and down, the wheel, the sun going round, the equinox and the solstice, the tilts, This is again from the Venus guy. I don't remember his name in my last videos, the Vesica Pisces, and we go back uprights. The two faces of the Pacal becomes again the one man. So again, the solstice, the cherry, the cardinal cross with the red fez. You either get the cherry on the cake or it's ice cream, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. The pi symbol, which is also the tab. So this is the Cancer and the Sun. We will not need them anymore. They will be merging on the they will be merging opposite Aquarius and Capricorn. So these are the angles from our eye. We're going to have the whole vision now. We're going to have the whole. This is Popoff's radio signal, which is when we merge the Ark of the Covenant in our heads. So those people who can't make, so he can either be the proper, the flower or crucified. So here we've got Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and this will be Saturn as the pi. There's no more sun and moon. Sine wave, Fibonacci, and we're having this flesh and spirit merging again. Saturn, Capricorn, and Aquarius. Scissor Sisters, the chromosome, and we're coming straight again. Upright soldiers. We can move around, we can fly now, we can open, we can shut like eagles. Again, this is March on solstice. And as this wheel goes from 12 to 8, we will get the 5 waves to make the 5th wave. There's again showing us, this is Odin that's come up as this fake Joker 13th sign, showing us his arm, showing us the Y, that crocodile Pac-Man opens and shuts. His fingers can open and shut. The key, the 4 mutable ages, you've got to get them spinning, mutable, fixed, cardinal signs. And this is keeping us stuck in the sun and the moon. There'll be no need for the sun and the moon. Those are the phases of the moon. But using that star as the sun, no. So Venus cycle, morning star, evening star, Psyche and Eros. That's the journey coming back to the 8, from the 12 to the 8. And that's showing us the 360, and we're going to have a 5th wave. And these changing of degrees, it's changing, that changes. If they add in their 13th sign, you're not going to make this 5th wave. They're showing us the 2 angles, the V for victory, closed, in, frozen, the red and white, Sirius and Alta axis, Gemini, Sagittarius, Asia, America. Okay, back at Lars's page, Alchemist, Spiritual Chakra, Astrology. You must come and see all his new pictures. Positive, negative, and the pendulum, and the TikTok. So here we've got the mutable, openings and shuttings, the Milky Way, the pendulum, the middle pillar, and this, you pause and read that. And he's got another picture which is very good. So this is what we're living now. This is the pop-off. These are the pillars, the sun and the moon. We're coming to this. We're coming to Mercury, Venus, and Saturn. and Mars will merge, the thumbs will close, and this is for those people who are still stuck below in my picture. Pac-Man opening and shutting the mouth, so you've got to imagine how that's moving around. Here, the thumb, this is the Jupiter and Mars. The Pac-Man's going to open up. We can come through this 8, make this 9, and we can move around. We're the walking man again. We can spin around the wheel in whatever direction. We can open and shut our legs and wings. We can fly. Those are my funny pictures again. Yep, okay. So Mars's pictures. This is the 12 or the 8. When it spins at 8, we have a 5th wave and we get our 5th body member. We get our head back. It's the cut of the line. We've got our eyes above the water again. So you see Lars has got the best pictures. This is what we're doing now, the DNA. You've got to get your DNA strands through into the kingdom, mind over matter. Sine wave. So the heart, Taurus, and Libra, that third eye, this all merges back. Some more pictures. Here's marked with her wings, her angles, the 22, 22, 22, but you need to get through for the 4th man. This is our DNA. There we've got the same sine wave. This is the CrocO, the Pac-Man, opening and shutting, the wheel. This is the eye. This is the earth. We're going inside out when we become the 5th. That's the NHS 111. This is the angle. This is the T. This is the word in the tone. And you've got to get through Saturn, death, to get this last, to get open and close that Tomb Raider that I showed in my last video. So they're showing us the fake 10th door as the solstice, but the true solstice is when we're at the 12th to the 1st, and black and white. The 4 passages are going back to red air and black earth, Capricorn, Aquarius, Capricorn. That's M, the French singer, showing us the 2 V's for victory, and his M hair. St. Martin, the Martian, Mars and Jupiter for those who remain in the crocodile. The mouth, those 2 opening and shutting. And here is the analemma. So this, when this 8 becomes perfectly balanced again, you're not closed in as William Blake on top of St. Paul's, Peter and Paul, showing us that compass closed in. So the closes, Pandora's box opens and shuts. There's the same as we saw at the Frozen Momo Men, the Harlequin closing in. No frog, no hoof. It's the opening and shutting of the seagull. Seagull, and there is that angle of Mars. So that 777 is those eaten by the crocodile, the 369. You need the 369 to get through the heart gateway, 12th door, Pisces. That's why when we saw the whale, the picture, the film is called The Heart of the Sea. You need to get through the 12th door, spin of the heart to come back to the 8s. There. So this is going to, when you get, that's 12 at the moment, but it's going to speed up on both directions, 4-wheel drive, and we make the 5th heads. 10, howl, this is red and yellow. We want on the top red and white, this is the fake axis, Sirius, Altair, Gemini, Sagittarius, which is not the closing of the Milky Way. It's not the true silver golden gateway. Okay, same pictures. There we have the Blake again, closing as the snake's tongue. Carrefour, that's why there's Carrefour shops. And the mailman. And the sundial was the horseshoe. And this is Tav 22, the last cornerstone. That's where we're at now. Those two hands become one, and they're merging on the Milky Way. So the Cairo, it began with Alpha Omega, and now it's going to close with Aries, Taurus, Aleph, Tav. So this is not what we want. We want this is when this all joins up. We've got the complete opening. We open, the gate is opened, and Pandora's box is closed for those who didn't get out. So that again is the VV, the V, clockwork orange, the butterfly, the hemisphere of the brain. I don't want my computer to stop like last time. He can fly. It's an eternal movement. He's not crucified. He's flying. He's opening and shutting his legs. 10 is the X. That's you want X, 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 X. You want 22 on each side and 22 above and below. You want the V's in a perfect flowing. So 22 or 22 or 22 or 22. An eternal passageway. So that 60 can also be 90. So it can be 30, 60, 90. There's 90 between each corner, between each quarter, and this is the DNA, the snake tongue, and we've got L'Etoile, which is 12 legs, and my village is 8 legs. On St Paul's, Manchester United, Momo bin Salman, Mohammed, Mohammed bin Salman, you need the 4 V's, you need 4 legs to have those Pac-Men opening and shutting, flying like a butterfly. You don't want to get stuck in that. So this, again, this is how it's going to work, but this is going to be an eternal flower. So this is coming back to the correct wheel. Saturn, this is going to be the heads, and we've got Venus and Mars, Aries and Taurus, black Taurus, yellow fire Aries, and over here red Libra air and white Scorpio in the middle, the sun and the moon merging, and Saturn ruling Aquarius and Capricorn, black earth, feminine on the outside, and red air Aquarius inside, and the mutable is returned here, whereas what they want is to crucify the fixed signs in the mutable gap. This is the B, the 13th sign, the Joker, Jupiter, trying to merge with Capricorn, Sagittarius, when we should have the mutable signs in the middle. It really is. This is really, you go through the heart, or the crocodile's mouth is shutting again. This is a crop circle showing us, again, the trap, crucifying the fixed sign. There's the umbrella. It's going to open and shut with the merging of the mutable signs, but this is the incorrect one. Here's the Joker. Being put in this axis of Altair Sirius, right in that Milky Way gap. Here is the on-off button, how, Mars, and this is that Milky Way, and here's the true spring equinox, and we're coming on to Aquarius, and this will be the new beginning of the year, and we'll have our heads back upright. It's this last gap. We're going through the skull and bone gap. You don't want to get eaten by the Scissor Sisters, Crocodile Dundee. This is the Tudor Rose, Funny My School, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Interesting. And the two corners here, the solstice and the equinox that remerge. So there's the 7-7 shut in the fire and ice. When earth and air merge, it's the A with the A, and it's Saturn's sigil. Q movement, showing us the gap closing again, and the black and the yellow of Jupiter, the Joker, the B. Jupiter merging with Capricorn, Sagittarius and Capricorn, no. The Vache qui rit, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cows, and they've shown us the fifth, red and blue, on off, fire and ice, using still the sun and the moon. We don't want the sun and the moon. This is the inversion of making Taurus into a bull. So here's the cow laughing, Mo's cow, Moscow, Mo's cow, free martins sterilizing as they do. They make twin cows, free martins, and the female takes all the hormones of the male. So we have an XY chromosome. We don't have the XX female. I'm going to finish with a few posts. This was written by Michael Lowe, and it's very much about what we're talking about. I died and was reborn so many times I can't remember, and I remember a lot of times I ascend and travel through the sun, planets and stars. You don't really travel, but more or less become it. More like an adsorption to a singularity, point of reference that bridges all things, Akashic records. When you become the luminaries, you are a librarian with access to the Hall of Records. You can look up and do what you will in the higher planes. When your heart chakra is right, a star will come out the sky and flicker on your shoulder. You'll be in like the seventh density of consciousness. Again, that's that seventh, the wheel I showed you with the 7. That's the last angle to get through the throat. It's the brain neuron sparked. We be on the dark side of light as the operator of the operation itself again. Can't travel so far out man's consciousness, visual perception of light. You see, that was what I showed you, that V angle from the eye. The atmosphere is his atmosphere-based conditions of the mind that sparks the instability of the weather pattern, the temperatures, the temperaments, hot, cold, moist, dry. That's all we are. It's the temperaments with the movement that gives us this material experience, and we're going up to a higher level, a higher frequency. Man can't travel past the point of that which his mind can't ever perceive. That's why NASA needs you to believe space is expanding. Space isn't a vacuum, it's a projection of a null point in between our heart and throat chakra. So between the heart solstice, equinox, and the throat solstice. The angle, the last leg, chakra to get through the etheric planes, which are in planetary sphere into the crown chakra, heavens. Luminaries transmuted from the lower densities below the crown, think alchemically and micro and macrocosmic. Exactly. Picture from Lars, but it's not in our language, but you see at the top, alchemy, astrology, Kabbalah. And, you know, this is people still at the job level, politics, EU, religions, etc. Or, you know, you've got to get to that critical point, the break-even point on the shoreline of the tear of the corona eye. This is the eye, and we project the other V on the other side, but it's all coming. We're going to have this inversion going on. Finish with two pleasant posts. If you are not conscious of your higher self, you are isolated from your primordial source. Archons can then attach to your nervous system. They hook on and drive your experience. That is the virus. So the VV, your eye, the projection of the eye, it's not you, it's not your third eye. You are not the observer. So you have an alien observer. They invade your vessel as all alien musketeers, tears for fears entities do. They are the body, mind and soul snatchers. They feed off the lower vessel. They are mind parasites. They live off humans, detached from the higher mind, and they cause disturbance that leads to dis-ease. Many people have no ability to remember their dreams because they think they are a brain, a nose, a belly, 2 arms, legs, and 2 feet with an egghead with no hope. Once you reconnect to your infinite heart state of being, you actually get back above the horizon into the driver's seat, Aka, your higher self. Spirit source captain self says, high flesh body, high soul, let's rocket man, avatar, tar down this brick wall and do this. You can get up the ladder, you can see over the horizon, you're like the eagle. You can sail like the eagle, like the vessel. You can go in every direction. There will be no dreams until you repent, as the lion lies down with the lamb. You ask for guidance again to repaint yourself. The lamb is your higher state, thalamus, formerholt, third eye. Lamp is lit again. Your snake is your spine, your backbone, your ladder home. The name, enemy, name. So your flesh body, your skeleton, Venus, Mars, the flesh body, your skeleton, Saturn, the backbone, and your higher consciousness, air, Venus, and Aquarius. Your snake is your spine, your backbone, your ladder home, the N and the AM, the soul. This is the Z, the N, and the soul, or your enemy, N-A, me, know thy name, know thy enemy. Imagination is created, and if that is hijacked, there is no more dream left. Just blind obedience to the gut desire and the root ego, survival instincts under the dome of the diaphragm. As you begin to realize you are not part of the animal farm herd, but a wild, authentic, spiritual being attached to an eternal ethereal cord that is above the horizon, you can begin to climb above, to soar as the eagle again with 360-degree vision, to see the signs and to read the writings on the wall, as above, so below. You will then remember and merge your 5th body part, head to your arms and legs, and the lucid dreams begin. Your life becomes that lucid dream. The throat is the door to the third eye, the last leg. The vagus nerve is your Las Vegas casino spin, echo your breath, your voice, your sound of music, and as you express your authentic being, you slowly find your whole self again, and the virus will die. You may even find your corona halo. So, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Okay, last post I want to read you. Head in the clouds, heart on a string. If the heart was found to be lighter or equal in weight to the feather of Mart, the deceased had led a virtuous life and would go on to Aru. Is your heart heavier than the feather? It's a game, playa. There is nothing to fear when you walk the seashore tightrope, because the bitch is simply the beach, Virgo, Earth, and the sea moon star monster Moby Dick, Pisces water, is simply the axis we leave and the collective denial. It is there to orientate us so we don't slip and slide away into the abyss. We choose where to sail. It's no big deal. You can't crash in a vessel unless you pick up too much speed or navigate at night without knowing the constellations. Then you will get very scared and lost. And the sand is the dust of the stars, and no harm can come to you when you fall, as long as you keep your focus line and walk that mid-L balance. Keep wobbling, you will be fine. Every time turbulence appears, it's because we stepped over the line. It's a game. You can feel it in your belly button. 2222. You can feel what your correct alignment, fil de conduite in French, conduite, to drive. It's the feel, the string of your line, your tightrope, is with every authentic breath, air. We leave the axis of water, Pisces, opposite Earth, Virgo, so that's why she sells seashells on the seashore, like a horse, shore, horse. And that's why you have to gallop the stallion with your arms upright like Mart. You are the equilibrium. You are finding your inner compass, and that is your true voice, the one that knows this is a spiritual game. And we're being selected to see who is ready to pass through the sieve. The separation is being done ruthlessly, because if you are not scared, you are not paying attention. It doesn't mean you have to be scared. It just means, you know, can you see two sides of the coin, coin, corner. Attention, paying attention. Once you can manage fear, you can step up the ladder one step at a time, never going too fast or too slowly. We enter air and earth, so breathing is essential to make the journey safely. We are walking over the storm, and the tides relax and swell. So just be one step beyond and in your own unique rhythm. You were made for this time. You chose to be here now. It's a game, it's the player, and you are the player. So then there's just a bit of about Mart, and then I added the naval ship Andromeda that I covered in a past video on the Isle of Wight, which has been at sea since leaving Nigeria, which is the famous, that's just differently spelt, Niagara Falls, where there was the famous tightrope walker, Charles Blondin, CB, 32, 32 pearls of wisdom, 23 twin DNA strands. And in Greek mythology, Andromeda is the daughter of the king Aethiopius, Cepheus, and his wife Cassiopeia. So Cepheus is one of the angles that were coming off on, we've got Polaris. I read that in the last video when I showed you the procession of the equinoxes. So this is representing when we had Mars in Pisces and we had Venus in Virgo. So Mars and Venus closing with Virgo and Pisces. So that's what the Isle of Wight boat was all about, and then that's more about that. So I'll leave you with this image of Lars, Alchemist Spiritual Chakra Astrology on Facebook. As above, so below, as within, as without, so. That's lovely. So the heart is going to make this fifth gateway, and we are making this eternal flower. And I hope that you understand Pac-Man now, and why we've got, I'll show you the Pac-Man. I forget Pac-Man. So you can come and see this article, Pac-Man, Coronavirus, Antiviral Strategy. I mean, give me a break. It's you know, there's your last V for victory. You know, you either have an immunity system or you're going to go into, the vaccine is basically your ticket to never leave here. So, and you know, they've got all there's quite a few things I didn't show you that I want to show, but you see it's all the 22, it's always talking about the wheel. 13, CAS 13D, the 13, CAS 13. CAS is to be closed in French. CAS is the cage. It's to break, means to break. Okay, darlings. I love you very much. I'm taking in readings. I've squeezed everybody up along, so from March, but so next bookings next on my diary. I love you. Bye.